I always thought being the person people leaned on was a gift, a sign that I mattered, but somewhere along the way, I realized it had become my identity. And when I finally needed someone to lean back on, the ones I'd stood by in harder times simply weren't there. From high school sleepovers to late-night college breakdowns, I was the dependable friend, the one who stayed up, made snacks, held tissues, and nodded while everyone else poured their hearts out. I believed that if I showed up enough, if I listened with the calm, patient focus I worked so hard to cultivate, I would be seen as someone who mattered. I kept silence for others until my own voice was lost somewhere underneath the responsibilities I assumed. In college, I carried the title of group therapist. Among my friends, I attended every breakup night, supported late-night deadline crises, gave pep talks before presentations, and remained silent about my own anxieties. I didn't even think to share them, because who would listen to the listener? And when I tried tentative phone texts like "could use someone tonight," I got blank read receipts, vague "I'm busy" excuses, or silence. It only happened twice at first, so I passed it off as coincidence. Someone busy or off my schedule. But as the times added up, friends drifting, roommates silent, messages ignored, it cut deeper. The silence wasn't just a missed check-in. It became a message: you don't need support. It stung in ways nothing else did. I stopped sleeping through the nights because my mind circled the irony of how I offered warmth and care like a bright lamppost on dark sidewalks. Yet when I flicked a switch on my own lamp, the light didn't come on. I felt like I had become a public resource. You know, I'll be there, so you don't think twice. And when I needed someone, the system had no place for me. That's when I realized this wasn't just loneliness or being overlooked. This was burnout wrapped in betrayal. From that point, I began watching relationships through a different lens. Was I valued for me, or only as a shoulder to lean on? And the answers were hard to digest. I could see the distance creeping in before I gave up my seat, or volunteered to plan another gathering, or answered a midnight text again. Invitations would stop coming. Responses would go quieter. And halfway between being hurt and being ashamed, I'd question, was I being too needy? But one quiet full morning in my 24th year, after a fit of anxiety sent me awake at 3 a.m. with a familiar dizziness, I realized I couldn't coast on silence forever. I sent out a group chat message. "Hey guys, had a rough night. Just wanted you to know." There were emojis, of course, but mostly silence. I stared at the screen until the group disconnected. One friend followed up 2 days later, but by then I'd bottled up so much resentment I didn't respond.